Vasishta continued, "This is wealth, this is body, and this is a nation. All these are notions, O Ram, which are the manifestation of the energy of the mind, and which are otherwise illusory. Know this to be a long dream, or a long-standing hallucination, or daydreaming, or wishful thinking. When, by the grace of God, or the Self, you attain awakening, you will then see all this clearly. The existence of a world independent of you, or the mind, is but the jugglery of the mind. It is nothing but the recognition of a notion, as if it were a substance." So everything is notions. We are awash on an ocean of notions. Wealth, body, nations. Well, it's clear in the case of nations. A nation is a notion. The modern nations arose through the empire building peoples of the past. You can trace the development of nations in nationhood back from the past. And we agree generally that national boundaries should be respected. We agree that this is such and such a nation, and that's such and such a nation. Some people want new nations to be made, or older nations to be re-established. And this is part of the political dynamics of the modern world. And wealth is also a notion. We assign value to paper money, or to bits of metal called coins. And we agree that these bits of metal or bits of paper have value and can be exchanged for things. When a country experiences hyperinflation, though, then these bits of paper tend to become valueless, and people have to start trading more directly. They have to start bartering. But what about body? Surely body is not a notion. You might be able to see somebody's body, or even look at your own and say, yes, there it is. A body is a torso, 2 legs, 2 arms and a head. End of story. Well, it's not the end of the story. You might want to make it the end of the story, but what if I don't have 2 legs? As far as you know, I may or may not have 2 legs. So then you're going to have to adjust your notion of the body. Well, yes, you can have a body without legs. And what about arms? There are some unfortunate individuals who have no legs and no arms. Do they have a body? Well, yes, you'd have to say they have a body. The body then is the torso and the head. So we've got the idea of a body which can have limbs or not have limbs. When we say insects have bodies, don't we? Spiders have bodies. Do spiders have torsos? And we even describe wine as having body, don't we? Or we say body rather than a body. We don't say wine has got a body, but we say it's got body. Is that the same thing? We say the body of a letter, don't we? So a letter can have a body. And if you design web pages and you use HTML, then there's a tag in HTML called body, which is the main content of the web page. So even web pages can have body, or a body. Web pages have a body. They don't have arms, they don't have legs, but they can have a body. So you might then describe, well, a body is what carries the main content. That's a good definition. We've moved completely away from the notion of a body being a torso and limbs, haven't we? A body is what carries the main content. Maybe a body is what carries the brain, or the soul even. But then we describe a corpse as a body, don't we? We might describe the main content of the body as being the head. The body is what carries the head around. We tend to kind of keep the head a little bit separate from the body, or think of the head separately from the body. But not with a corpse. We'd say the corpse is the body. And the head is definitely part of the corpse and definitely part of the body. So a corpse is a body. And as part of our inquiry into body, we can always look up a good dictionary. This is what Chambers has to say about the body. Body, the whole frame of a human or a lower animal, the main part of an animal as distinguished from the limbs. The main part of an animal as distinguished from the limbs. The main part of anything. The main text of a letter, advertisement, etc., excluding, for example, headings, address, etc. The part of a vehicle which carries the load or passengers. Cars have bodies, don't they? A garment or part of a garment covering the truck. A bodice. A legless, close-fitting garment fastening at... Oh, I don't think we need to go into all this. Matter, as opposed to spirit. Substance or substantial quality. Fullness, as of flavour in a wine. Solidity. And so on. So, the more we look into body, the more subtle it becomes. There's some kind of elusive quality that we're trying to pin down by the idea or the notion of a body. I mean, another thing that's not mentioned in that definition is your notion of a body depends on distance as well. For example, if you were looking at my body and you came close up to me, well, you wouldn't see very much. In fact, what you were seeing you wouldn't describe as a body. And similarly, if you were far away, then my body would appear as a small, indistinct point. So the actual distance from which you're viewing the body is also important. Are you viewing the body at a cellular level? Are you looking through a microscope? Are you viewing it from a great distance, from another country even, in which case the body's completely disappeared? So in this way we can inquire into what is meant by body, and we find that it's actually a lot of notions. And when we try to actually find out exactly what it is, it becomes quite elusive. So this is my ad hoc inquiry into what's meant by body. And we do find, as exemplified by the dictionary definition, that it is a bundle of notions. And we'll carry on with Vasishta's inquiry into the body in the next video.